Hello, everybody. We're going to go ahead and end our review about direct quotations with this worksheet here. So, to review again, a direct quote can either begin a sentence or it can come at the end of it. Either way, it always starts with a capital letter and is enclosed in quotation marks. Note the placement of the comma and the period in both cases. Okay, so again, whenever we have the quote at the beginning and our sentence is continuing, we need that comma to separate the person's speech from the source words. Same thing, even if it comes at the end, we still need that comma to separate the person's speech from the source words, whether it comes in the beginning or the end. We still need that comma no matter what. So if the quote comes at the beginning, the comma comes directly after the quote. Call me tonight, comma, Lee said. And we have our quotation marks before and after, before the first letter and after that punctuation. Now take a look when it occurs at the end. Lee said, comma, call me tonight. And in this case, we still have our quotation marks at the beginning of the first, before the first letter of their speech. But in this case, that is ending their sentence. So we need a period. We could also use an exclamation point or a question mark if their speech is a question. Okay, those are all acceptable ways to end a sentence. Remember then to close out your quotation marks after that punctuation. So taking a look down here, our directions say each sentence contains a direct quote. Insert capital letters, commas, periods, and quotation marks as needed. So basically, we're editing this work. You need to make sure that you're adding the quotation marks where they need to go and making sure all of the first letters in the quotation marks are capitalized, and there's punctuation before the end of the quotation marks each time, and before or after the source words if the quotation comes at the end of the sentence. Okay, so let's take a look. As I'm looking through here, I'm already noticing that none of these sentences end with punctuation. So you're going to always put the punctuation at the end of all of these sentences. I'm also noticing that none of these sentences begin with a capital letter. That's something you will also have to edit. So take a look. Your leg will heal in no time, said Dr. Ramirez. So who's speaking in this? Awesome. If you said Dr. Ramirez, you're absolutely right. So that's the source words. That's who's speaking. I'm going to go ahead first and just put a little period at the end of this sentence. Am I writing? Why isn't it letting me write? Pretend that's a period. All right. So we've got our period at the end. That's fixed. Now we need to identify what Dr. Ramirez is saying. If you said your leg will heal in no time, you're right. Okay, so we have to go ahead. Let's go ahead and put our quotation marks around that. Your leg will heal in no time. That's what he is saying. Okay. Now, I'm not done. I still need more punctuation here because I don't have any punctuation before the end of these quotation marks, which is absolutely what I need. I always need punctuation at the end of quotation marks. That was not the end of the sentence, so I went ahead and added a comma here. If this came at the end of the sentence, I wouldn't need a comma. I would need a period. There's one more thing I'm missing in our quotation marks. This is not a capital letter. We always need a capital letter. One, to begin a sentence, which this is doing, and also to begin a quotation, which this is doing. So we absolutely need a capital letter here. If you have the ability on your Google Classroom assignment to erase by adding white over top of something, I would do that here so that you're not writing over top of anything. So you can erase whatever the Y and then write the capital Y above it. That's what I would do if I were you. It might make it look a lot prettier, but I'm making that Y capital. All right, continue down through, remember to use the punctuation where it needs to go. Remember to capitalize all first letters inside of the quotation marks and all of the first words of the sentence. Remember to have punctuation at the end of each sentence. All right, have fun.